Most people think baking soda is just baking soda, but here is the twist. You could be paying anywhere from $1 to $16 for the exact same chemical, sodium bicarbonate. So what is the difference? In this video, we are breaking down 7 levels of baking soda to uncover what you are really paying for and what actually matters. And by the end, you might realize the best option has almost nothing to do with what is inside the box. Let us get into it. Level 1, the orange box, the one your grandmother had, the one that has been sitting in American kitchens since 1867. Arm & Hammer is, by almost every measure, the defining American baking soda. It is 100% sodium bicarbonate, no aluminum, no additives, no fillers. The company will tell you it is pure and natural, and in a strict chemical sense, that is true. It is also gluten-free and kosher certified, which matters to a portion of buyers. Here is what the marketing will not tell you. Arm & Hammer is manufactured on an enormous industrial scale from mined trona ore, a naturally occurring mineral that is refined into sodium bicarbonate through a heavily mechanized process. There is nothing dangerous about this, but it is worth knowing that when you buy this box, you are buying a product that is as much associated with laundry boosters, cat litter deodorizers, and drain cleaners as it is with your baking. The other thing is that the parent company, Church & Dwight, is not cruelty-free. They test on animals. For most buyers, this is completely irrelevant. For the growing segment of consumers who factor ethics into their purchasing, particularly those who use baking soda for health or personal care purposes, this is why Arm & Hammer sits at the base of the list. The honest assessment at level 1 is this. It is chemically excellent baking soda at an unbeatable price. If you are using it exclusively for baking or household cleaning, it is the rational choice. If you are putting it in a do-it-yourself toothpaste or a wellness drink, some consumers want something that feels more aligned with that intention. And this is where it gets interesting, because later in this video, we are going to see people pay 5, 10, even 15 times more without the chemistry really changing at all. Level 2. This is where things get quietly interesting. Great value baking soda from Walmart is, in most verifiable cases, Arm & Hammer baking soda in a different box. Multiple sources have confirmed that the Great Value 16-ounce product is manufactured and packed by Arm & Hammer, then sold as Walmart's private label. Same trona-sourced sodium bicarbonate, same refinement process, same chemical profile. It is marked as vegan and low FODMAP in independent ingredient databases, which is accurate because sodium bicarbonate is simply not an animal product and contains 0 fermentable carbohydrates. These labels are technically correct and functionally meaningless for this ingredient. What you are getting at level 2 is identical chemistry to level 1 at a price that is sometimes 8 cents cheaper per box. That is the entire value proposition. It exists. The honest assessment at level 2 is this. It is the most rational purchase on the list if you do not care about brand identity. You are paying for the same thing and getting the same thing. The brand just says great value instead of Arm & Hammer, and that is, in the most literal sense, the point. So if levels 1 and 2 are basically identical, what are you actually upgrading when you move up? That is where level 3 comes in. Level 3, gateway to essentially the same thing, but with better label copy. Kroger's pure baking soda comes in a 16-ounce box at the same price point as the Walmart version. But the product page tags it with a noticeably longer list of certifications, including gluten-free, vegan, vegetarian, low-fat, sugar-free, and free of artificial ingredients. Let us be clear about what this list is. It is marketing language applied to a single ingredient product. Baking soda cannot contain gluten. It is not made from animals. It has zero fat because it is a mineral compound. Every single claim on that label would be equally true for Arm & Hammer or Great Value. And the difference is that Kroger has bothered to print them. Is that meaningless? Not entirely. Those labels tell you something about how Kroger is positioning this product and what their quality control process looks like. It signals that someone has gone through a certification process, even a simple one. For consumers who use store brand labels as a proxy for quality assurance, this matters. But here is the deeper question. Why does a company go through the effort of certifying a product that could not possibly fail those certifications? The answer is not chemistry, it is shelf psychology. When a shopper is standing in the baking aisle comparing two boxes at the same price, the one with more reassuring labels wins. Kroger knows this. Every label claim is technically accurate and strategically placed. There is also something worth noting about how Kroger positions this product visually. The packaging tends to use clean, simple design language, words like pure front and center. Compare that to the Arm & Hammer box, which has spent decades sharing real estate with pet deodorizers and drain cleaners. Kroger's version signals, this is a food product, full stop. For shoppers who have internalized that distinction, even subconsciously, that matters. And there is a practical side to buying store brand at this tier. Kroger as a retailer has strong supply chain standards, and their private label products go through internal quality assurance processes that are meaningful, even if not third-party certified. You are not buying into a brand mythology. You are buying into a supermarket's institutional self-interest in not embarrassing itself with a bad product. The honest assessment at level 3, the chemistry is the same, the price is the same, and the certifications are mostly decorative. But Kroger has done real work in positioning this as a kitchen product rather than a cleaning supply. And the label copy, however redundant, does function as a trust signal for a meaningful portion of shoppers. If you are a Kroger regular and you want a baking product that feels like it belongs in your pantry, this earns its place. At this point, you might be noticing a pattern, and it only gets more obvious from here. Level 4 does not change the product, it changes how you feel about buying it. Level 4. The mid-shelf sweet spot of the grocery brand tier. Target's Good and Gather line has built a reputation as a private label that people actually trust. That trust is a legitimately valuable thing in consumer packaged goods. Their baking soda is one ingredient, sodium bicarbonate. Third-party ingredient databases mark it as vegan. The packaging is clean, modern, and designed to look at home in the kind of kitchen that also has a subscription to a cooking magazine. Good and Gather does not make any claims about sourcing, manufacturing standards, or ethical certifications. It does not need to. Target has spent years building the Good and Gather brand as a quality signal in itself, and a meaningful segment of consumers trust that signal. Here is what most people get wrong about this tier. The decision to buy Good and Gather over Kroger or Great Value is almost never a chemistry decision. It is a brand experience decision. You are paying, in this case, not actually more money since the price is identical, for the feeling that you have made a considered choice. The honest assessment at level 4, excellent entry-level baking soda from a brand that has earned genuine consumer goodwill. Chemically identical to everything below it, marginally better on vibes. So far, every upgrade has been about branding, not chemistry. But level 5 is the first time something actually changes, and it's not what you'd expect. Level 5. Now we enter the territory where the format changes. Kirkland Signature Baking Soda at Costco comes in a 64-ounce bag, 4 times the volume of a standard grocery box, for roughly $3.50. On a per-ounce basis, this is the cheapest product on the entire list. If you are running a bakery, doing a lot of household cleaning, or have found some wellness use for baking soda that means you are going through 1 pound a month, this is the mathematically correct product to buy. Kirkland Signature is Costco's house brand, and it has an unusually strong reputation for quality given how aggressively it is priced. The product is marketed for baking and cleaning alike. As long as the ingredient list reads only sodium bicarbonate, which it does, it is food grade and perfectly suitable for culinary use. Here is where Level 5 gets interesting from a health perspective. The format changes the risk profile, not the chemistry. A 16-ounce box of Arm & Hammer creates a natural use limiter. You buy it, you use it, you buy another one. A 64-ounce bag sitting in your pantry makes overuse significantly more accessible. And baking soda in high quantities is not neutral. A high sodium load, metabolic alkalosis, gastrointestinal issues. These are real consequences for people who decide to self-dose baking soda as a health supplement without appropriate guidance. The chemistry is safe. The packaging makes excess easier. That is the only meaningful health flag at Level 5. The honest assessment at Level 5 is this: it is the best value per ounce on this list by a significant margin. Perfect for heavy culinary or household use. If you are using baking soda for any kind of internal health protocol, buy smaller quantities more often. Now we move into a completely different category, because Level 6 isn't trying to sell you baking soda as a food at all. Level 6. Here is where the market for baking soda takes a turn that will surprise most people. Nutricost sells sodium bicarbonate, the same compound, in a supplement-style bottle for somewhere between $14 and $16 for 16 ounces. That is roughly 15 times the price per ounce of the Kirkland bag. And it sells. Why? Because Nutricost is not marketing this to bakers. They are marketing it to people who are using baking soda intentionally as part of a personal health or performance routine. Athletes who use sodium bicarbonate for pre-workout alkalinity, people following specific protocols for acid reflux management. Consumers who want to know that what they are putting in their bodies has been manufactured in an FDA-registered, GMP-compliant facility with third-party testing. GMP stands for Good Manufacturing Practice, a set of production standards applied in pharmaceutical and supplement manufacturing. It does not change the chemistry of sodium bicarbonate, but it does mean that the product has been through a more rigorous quality assurance process than a grocery store baking product. Batch consistency, contamination testing, accurate labeling, these are the things GMP compliance addresses. The Nutricost product is also labeled as GMO-free and gluten-free, again, chemically trivial for sodium bicarbonate, but important as trust signals for the health-conscious buyer. The honest assessment at Level 6. If you are using baking soda strictly for baking or cleaning, this product offers you nothing that Great Value does not. If you are using it as part of a health or supplementation routine, the pharmaceutical-grade manufacturing process and third-party testing give you a level of quality assurance that grocery brands simply do not provide. That premium is real, even if the molecule is identical. And this is where everything comes together, because Level 7 is the only product on this list that tries to justify its price from every angle at once. Level 7, the most health-consciously positioned baking soda on the mass retail market. Bob's Red Mill uses naturally mined sodium bicarbonate, extracted through a simple water-based process with no additional chemicals, meaningfully different from the industrial trona refining used by mass-market brands. They are also upfront about the fact that trace, naturally occurring minerals, including trace aluminum from the earth itself, may be present. That kind of transparency is rare in a category full of vague wellness claims. The other real differentiator is that Bob's Red Mill is certified cruelty-free. For consumers using baking soda in personal care or as part of a broader wellness lifestyle, that matters in a way that no amount of label copy from Arm & Hammer can replicate. The honest assessment at level 7 is this: the extraction method is genuinely different, the ethics are genuine, and the brand philosophy is coherent. Your pancakes will not rise any higher, but if you use baking soda beyond the kitchen, this is the product the market has landed on as the premium standard. If you found this useful, subscribe. I break down everyday products like this in every video. Drop a comment. Which one are you buying?